Hey YouTube, welcome back to our channel. My name is Elena.
And I'm Bjorn.
And we are Viking-Age reenactors and living historians here to talk with you about some new Viking-Age finds.
So we thought it would be fun to go into the world that we exist in constantly, which is Viking history, and share with you all some of the new developments and new exciting discoveries that are coming out, because this is an ever-expanding world. We have a lot of information from the past that is constantly being looked at, and new thoughts are being made onto those things. But what's more exciting is that we have brand new developments and brand new discoveries seemingly almost every day. And I want to cite some examples, but instead of that, we're just going to go into it, and I'm going to cite a bunch of examples with this new series.
So we're going to kick off the series with a really exciting find that happened last September of a Viking-Age game piece over at Lindisfarne. Now, some of you who may be more history savvy will remember Lindisfarne as the site of the first Viking raid in 793. It is what is known to historians as the start of the official Viking Age. So the discovery of this Viking-Age game piece, essentially, is really exciting because it goes back to where the story basically began.
The piece itself is really beautiful. Like, even being over 1,000 years old, it's still this beautiful little glass bauble with these little iconic droplets of glass on it, kind of like a little crown across the top. So we actually think it could possibly be the king piece, which, just out of all the pieces that are going to survive, of course
it's the king.
Of course it's the king. Perfect. What could be better? But it's beautiful, and it really shows like the importance of the game and potentially the high value of the game as well. A lot of the pieces in Nefertafel boards that do exist are often made out of glass or stone, but we even think that they could have been made out of wood or pretty much anything that can just count as a little token on the board. But glass was a huge import. It was very expensive and very sought after for the wealthy. So even with that being said, even just finding the one piece, that was incredibly valuable during the age.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is a really interesting discovery because there's not a whole ton besides this one gaming piece that was found there. But the gaming piece itself is very representative of a Viking game known as Nefertafel, which is essentially like Viking-Age chess, is what it's most commonly kind of associated with.
Nefertafel specifically is kind of set up to be played like a raid, where one team is on defense and the other team is on the offense, surrounding them and trying to get to the king.
And that's really exciting because Lindisfarne was the site of one of the very first documented Viking raids and is widely known as the start of the Viking Age itself. But if that is the case, then how did a Viking game piece end up on Lindisfarne before the Vikings did? Which is just really fascinating to think about because it shows potentially that either Nefertafel is far more widespread than we thought beforehand, as it's very much a specifically Norse kind of game. So either it's not, and
the English had it as well.
Or there's the other possibility that Norse culture was far more widespread in the very early ages of the Viking Age than we had previously believed. And that also says a lot based on their trade routes, their influence, and their culture than we had previously thought. So this is a really exciting little facet of information. I don't know how much we're going to be able to get out of it, but it's great to have that kind of focal piece and have a specific kind of set.
One of the really cool things that I was reading about when this whole thing was first coming out is Lindisfarne was a site of a monastery, essentially. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it was the monastery that was attacked and burned to the ground and pillaged by the Vikings. So you think of monastery life as being this quiet and, sort of inwardly, I suppose, existence for the monks. But research does suggest that that wasn't that way at all. Lindisfarne was actually a pretty bustling place. And whether this piece was dropped by a Viking or it was actually part of a set that they haven't maybe found yet, it does suggest that, you know, they were living a pretty good lifestyle there. And of course, you know, some of this is kind of expounding. We don't know exactly who the piece belonged to, and where the rest of the game is, first of all.
We don't know how long it's been there.
Yeah, so maybe one day we'll be able to find the rest of the game somewhere. But until then, that's all we got for you for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of our future videos. And we'll see you in the next one.